Oh, yes. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Who's jacked up? Who's excited about that one? Oklahoma wins it 6-5 over Florida in 9 innings. Who's excited? Who is mentally and physically exhausted after that one? This guy is right here. This guy is mentally, physically exhausted after watching that one. But who cares, man? Oklahoma finds a way. They find a way to get it done in 9 innings. Some things that weren't great. Some things got to be better. Some things were really, really good tonight at Florida. That is a big-time win. That is a big-time win on the road at Florida, facing all the adversity that you faced. Big win, huge win, and you just kind of felt, as that game unfolded, especially as we got to, the game, later in the innings, this is going to be the table setter for the entire weekend. It's a big momentum shift throughout the course of a series. Who can win game one, but especially when it goes into extra innings. You felt it was very important to win that game, and they got it done. They found a way. Oklahoma wins it 6-5 in 9 innings off of 15 hits. 15 hits by OU pitchers. Good night offensively. Some things base running wise, which you talked about that yesterday going into the series that need to be better. But here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sit here and harp on negative things tonight, as OU is now one win away from winning the series at Florida, which would be massive, and being SEC champs. Let's go. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. What's your thoughts? How you feeling? Drop those down in the comments as well. Ella Parker back. Ella Parker back. Are we good with Ella Parker back? She hits a home run tonight. She has 3 hits, 3 for 5. Ella Parker with a couple of runs scored. Look, I know that she didn't have the best start in SEC play. It's been a big storyline throughout conference play, which makes it even more impressive that Oklahoma's in the spot that it's in when, she wasn't even necessarily playing her best softball through the majority of the conference slate. But that's not the case now. She's got 3 consecutive games now with a home run, I believe, hitting the ball hard. Ella Parker back at the right time. This team peaking at the right time. Certainly the offenses. Sam Landry was an absolute warrior. But my main takeaway from tonight is that they found a way to win on the road. In front of a hostile crowd where you didn't play your best softball on the road against Alabama. You left runners on base. You left 12 runners on base tonight. It wasn't always perfect, but this team really just figured it out and found a way to win. Sam Landry, she's just an absolute warrior. I mentioned it. Not necessarily her best start or her best numbers tonight, but she gives you the 9 innings that you needed tonight and shuts down Florida late. She had the 9 innings pitch, the 5 runs. Just 3 of those runs were earned, by the way. Maybe more walks and even hit batters than she's used to, but she got out of a couple of tight jams and found a way to get Oklahoma a win, and I believe, her 18th win on the season. Yeah, Sam Landry, she had 5 walks in this game, 6 strikeouts, hit a couple of batters, but a win is a win is a win, especially at this point of the year. All right, so some big moments to talk about certainly in this game. You almost kind of have to work from the 9th inning almost back. There were some big moments earlier in this game, but you knew it in the top of the 9th inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. After a situation in the top of the 8th where you had runners on the corner and 1 out, and you grounded into a double play, you really felt like, okay, here's our chance. And frankly, here's how I felt in the top of the 9th. If you don't get a run in, you may lose the game in the bottom of the 9th inning. That's just kind of the way that momentum works. I've got a lot of confidence in Sam Landry, but it just felt in that moment like here is a golden opportunity in the 9th inning to win this game. Go do it. And you did it. You only got 1 run. You would have liked to have 2, 3, or even 4 runs and really bust that thing open. But all you needed was 1 run because Sam Landry in the circle was just a warrior tonight, and it was Abby Dayton who delivered that 1-out single to push it to 6-5, and that was essentially the winning run. So there's a lot of individual players I think you got to give credit to. Done that with Sam Landry. Ella Parker is friggin' back, and it is massive, massive news for this softball team. I thought Abby Dayton was really good tonight. Had a couple of big hits, a couple of big RBI hits. One was with 2 outs earlier in the game. Aliana Agbayani, good once again. She was 2 for 2 on the night with a couple of walks. Pickering had a couple of hits for you. I mean, really, this was a game where the entire order, for the most part, really delivered. I mean, you had 15 total hits as a team, and you look up and down the order, and there's several players with not just 1 hit, but 2 hits in this game, 2 hits or more. Pickering has 2. Ella Parker has 3. Agbayani has 2. Dayton has 2. Hannah Core has 2. You had 5 hitters against Keegan Rothrock for the most part tonight. Florida's best. 5 pitchers who had 2 hits or more in that game. And now clearly you played 2 more innings. You played the 9 innings instead of the 7 innings. But this offense is just hitting the ball hard right now. Really hitting the ball hard. And you just love the fact that it really feels like they're trending towards their best softball at the right time. Now, there's some things that you don't love. And even though this is a celebration tonight, once again, we may be talking about an SEC championship in 24 hours. I think it's also fair to point out the things that, maybe weren't good enough and need to be better moving forward. The 12 left on base, they are hitting well, so you like the fact that you even had the opportunity to have that many runners left on base, but that needs to be a much smaller number moving forward. And, of course, unfortunately, we had some base running gaffes tonight. You had a double steal earlier in the game where you get thrown out at home plate and you had a chance to score and at that time tie the softball game. But here's the thing, and I said this last weekend, and I'll kind of repeat it. They beat Florida tonight, a very good Florida team on the road. I still think there's a chance that Florida not only makes it to the Women's College World Series, but finds themselves in the championship series once again. I still think that they have that much talent and certainly the offense to make a real run when it matters most. That was a very good win on the road, and just like the Texas game, you didn't play your best game. That was not Oklahoma's best game. That was good offensively. That was gritty from Sam Landry. But you still had a play by Sid Barker that you throw out into left field. You had a pass ball earlier in the game. You had some base running gaffes. That's why it's not very painful for me right now to talk about the issues that this team may have during a game, especially after a win, because that just tells me it can be even better, and it's been pretty dadgum good. 7 consecutive SEC wins now, and they are 1 win away from being SEC champs in year 1. We talked about in the preview video how big that would be for the program, how cool that would be for the program. Yes, I won a national championship, most of all, just like you, but winning the SEC in year 1 would be a signal to everyone in the league, and it would be a big-time accomplishment for a team that is still so young, still so new, and without some of your best players playing their best softball throughout the course of SEC play. So, big, and it can be better. It can be better, and I'm hoping that it will be better moving forward. But I am hoping that we have a game tomorrow with no base running gaffes or base running mistakes. It's kind of water under the bridge now, but you had runners on the corner in that situation earlier in the game. I believe it was the top of the 4th inning. You tried the double steal, you get thrown out at home. You're hitting the ball well in that spot, so I say just stay at the plate and try to hit a runner in. But yeah, just gritty. This team's gritty, man. And even after the series loss against Alabama, I said, I'll ride with this team any day. And it's pretty easy to ride with this team now. Now that they've won 7 consecutive SEC games, and they're on the verge of doing something very, very special. And this is something that we'll probably get more detail in, whether it's, later on in the weekend or throughout the weekend or maybe even next week. But what I'm hoping, clearly, is that this team takes off and wins the national championship. And last year, the moment that you point to where things really turned, it felt like it was the final game of the regular season against Oklahoma State when OU had already lost the series, but they win that Sunday game. And man, what happened that day really propelled this team to playing their best and winning a national championship. If OU wins the SEC, wins the national championship, I feel like we're going to say the Alabama series was that moment this year. And we got a long way to go for that to be the case or that to be true. But I did just want to give a moment to say kudos, props, because a lot of us were feeling a little bit uneasy, even a little bit upset after what happened in that series loss to Bama. And this team has really, for the most part, corrected all the wrongs that they had at that point and found a way to really rebound and play their best ball. And I'm really happy that this team is having all the success that they're having right now, and that it really feels like it's a team effort. It's not Pickering and Parker just carrying this offense. No, it's Abby Dayton coming up with huge hits throughout this game. Huge hits for Abby Dayton. It's Aliana Agbayani having her best stretch of softball maybe in her entire collegiate career. It's Hannah Core coming up with a couple of hits in the bottom of the order. Everyone is seemingly producing right now, and that's what's so fun about watching this team. It's not just behind a dominant pitcher or a couple of dominant hitters. You are getting production up and down the order and up and down the roster, and that is why this team is peaking, because they're getting so much production from the entire team. It's fun to watch, man. I mean, it took years off my life tonight. I'm pretty sure that it did. It was very, very stressful. But it's the best time of the year, man. That's what makes it fun. It's stressful. You're just kind of grinding through that, gritting your teeth a little bit, upset when they waste opportunities. And I know we're not exactly going through, the game notes or anything like that. I can do that before I get out of here. But just big picture stuff, where this team is at, where they were at just what would you say, like 18 days ago or so, and where they're at now is really, really, really cool. Let me run through the game notes here. Again, drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. OU goes 3 up, 3 down in the first. Then OU makes a nice play at the plate to end the inning. Florida doesn't take the lead in the bottom of the first inning. Aliana Agbayani gets a hit in the top of the second inning. How about that 2-out double by Abby Dayton? That was big. Landry gets out of a jam in the bottom of the second inning. She got out of a couple of jams today. Opposite field bomb by Cassidy Pickering. That was an absolute shot. And I'm feeling pretty good after the top of the third inning. Hey, we got Sam Landry in the circle. We're up a couple of innings, and this thing's already in the bottom of the third. I'll take my chances here. And the one really bad bottom of the half inning you had was that bottom of the third inning. Like, you go from being up 2-0 to all of a sudden you're down 3-2, and the play that really stands out is, you had the play by Sydney Barker where she tries to go to second with 1 out, and it essentially goes into left field. That was OU's lone error of the day. But you can live, she's trying to make a play. I think it's the right play to make. I think she gets that runner on time if the ball is delivered in the right spot. And, I don't know if you say it's being aggressive, but mistakes are going to happen from time to time. She's still a true freshman, still learning that first base spot. And luckily this team was able to overcome it. Ella Parker hits an absolute tank to tie the thing later in the game. It's just a lot. Top of the fourth, you had the double steal with runners at first and third, 1 out. Agbayani was thrown out at home. That felt like a very big missed opportunity at that point, and I remember thinking that was a surprising call that was made, but OU made up for it. You had the leadoff single in the 7th by Ella Parker. Was hoping you win it in the top of the 7th. You didn't do it there. Hoping you win it in the top of the 8th after Emmerling got hit by the pitch. They reviewed it, and, she's good. She goes to first base. First and third, 1 out. Gabby Garcia just grounds into a double play, and Cassidy Pickering's the one who gets tagged on that play. It's a tough situation. What you really want to do there is not let the second baseman tag you. That's what you want. You hit the ball on the ground, which is good to get that runner home, but the only way that you're not getting out of that inning with a run is if you get tagged out and she goes to first base. So that was unfortunate, but again, the unfortunate moments, leaving too many runners on base, not exactly playing your best softball, all leads to you face adversity on the road. Florida certainly had momentum at times throughout this game, and you still figured out a way to win. And that's what winning this time of the year, that's what matters most, when you just find a way to win a softball game. So I'm happy. I'm going to guess you guys are happy. We'll find out in the comments. And I'm going to guess Kirsten Deal pitches tomorrow, and I'm very excited to see how Kirsten Deal backs up the best start of her career against a very, very good Florida offense. A very, very good Florida offense. I mentioned the top of the 9th. I didn't mention the bottom of the 9th. 2 quick outs and then a hit batter and then a base hit, and that's when the stress level really went high. But Sam Landry ends up getting out of it. Good night, fun night. Texas A&M beats Tennessee 1-0, so I guess we're rooting for the Vols tomorrow, and this thing could be wrapped up, right? I don't know. Just go win the game tomorrow, and we can celebrate on Florida's home field after winning an SEC title. Sound good to everybody? Sound good? We'll talk to you tomorrow on the channel. As always, thank you for watching.